Joe Biden's poll numbers, as Ari mentioned, are tanking, and his vice president's numbers are not that much better. Many Americans see Kamala Harris as pretty phony, incompetent, not particularly bright, effective. Recently, she teamed up with a company called Sinking Ship Productions, perfect name, to film what is a bizarre, cringeworthy PR video, and they had to hire child actors, and they all went all in. With some analysis, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and Fox News contributor Lara Trump is with us. Did we really need the child actors and then all the extra peppy talk? Why isn't she down at the border? Why isn't she helping lower energy prices or doing something other than this movie that she made? Laura.
Well, Sean, Kamala Harris is basically the picture-perfect example as to why woke virtue signaling does not work. Because whenever you give someone a position based on anything other than merit, anything other than what they actually could bring to the table as part of your team, what you get is Kamala Harris. Remember, she wasn't chosen for any other reason other than how she looks, and they were happy to tell us that during the campaign. I bet if you asked 100 people on the street right now, anywhere in America, to name one thing that Kamala Harris has actually done successfully as vice president, not a single person could name one thing, from failing at the southern border, being schooled by the Guatemalan president as to just how poor a job she was doing there. She didn't bother to stand up for our closest Middle Eastern ally, Israel, when given the chance. And now we have this ridiculous NASA video where, as you pointed out, we paid a Canadian company, Sinking Ship Productions. You couldn't even make it up if you tried. We paid child actors because I guess no kids could actually be recruited to try and make her more likable. And this was all in an effort, Sean, to make her relatable. Hey, remember when Afghanistan was crumbling and people were saying, "Where's Kamala Harris?" We now know she was shooting this video to make her a more likable person, so she couldn't be bothered to do any job other than to worry about herself, and even that was an epic failure.
You know, Governor Huckabee, I don't know about you. I've now done radio 33 years. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary. I'm very honored to be here on the Fox News channel. It's changed my life. I'm blessed beyond words. I doubt you ever hired a makeover person, because 2 PR makeover people, apparently, according to reports, have been hired by Kamala Harris. Then they hired the child actors to do this movie, because I look at it as a movie, while ignoring all the real problems like abandoning Afghanistan and the economy and energy prices going through the roof, and Taiwan and China and everything in between. I think they'd be better served to actually solve problems, but what do I know?
Well, I want to tell you something. If I had hired some makeover people, they ought to get fired because they did a lousy job with me. That's something I think most Americans could agree on wherever they are on the political
Actually,
spectrum.
no. You were great at the presidential debates. They might have a makeover on the beard thing. I think the jury's still out on that part.
You don't need a makeover at all. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. The truth is, these kids all ought to get Emmys or Oscars for their acting because they really were performing brilliantly to pretend that they were interested in what cackling Kamala had to say. There's something that I think we need to recognize about this whole ridiculous video and the fact she's trying to come out and be public. She's been invisible for most of her vice presidency. The truth is, like Joe Biden, they're both better when they're in the basement. It's when they come out of the closet, come out of the basement, come out of the darkness, when we see who they really are. And, you know, people say, well, she's just got a lot of gaffes. These aren't gaffes. Sean, it's been said that a gaffe is when a politician accidentally tells the truth. So when she goes out and makes some blunder, what she's really saying is what's going on. I really think that I'm like a lot of Americans who feel like that with Joe and Kamala in the front seat of the car. Honestly, I think I'm like a backseat passenger in a car being driven by Thelma and Louise right off the cliff.
You know, I think this might be the line of the night. Laura, you got to admit, this is good. I think the president and vice president are better off when they're in the basement. Wow, that speaks volumes. Problem is, these are real problems, and we've got a mess on our hands. Lara Trump, thank you. Mike Huckabee, thank you.